Welcome back to the deep dive. You know that feeling when you're in a debate and it goes nowhere. Every argument just creates another one and you never find a resolution.
Yeah.
Well, you've basically experienced the intellectual crisis we're talking about today. For a long time, thought has been dominated by post-structuralism, this focus on indeterminacy, multiplicity, meaning is always deferred.
And that terminal uncertainty, that's the exact problem Dr. Pramod Ambadasrao Pawar is trying to solve. We're getting into his global theory of monism, which he calls trans-deconstruction, or TDC.
Right, and our mission here is to figure out how this theory actually stops that endless loop and brings us back to some kind of unified core.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's set the stage a bit. For a long time, the center in scholarship was, well, rigid. Structuralism saw it as a fixed grammar for knowledge.
And then Derrida came along and basically said the center is absent. It's a non-locus, which, it opened up this incredible freedom of free play.
But it led to aporia, that state of terminal uncertainty where you just can't land on an answer.
That's it. The freedom was vital, but it came at the cost of fragmentation. And that's where TDC steps in. It doesn't just reject the center, it reestablishes it.
But not as that old, rigid structure.
No, not at all. It's now a dynamic, living, interpretive axis.
Hold on a second. If you bring back a singular essence, aren't you just, undoing Derrida and calling it something new? How is this gravitational force of coherence any different?
It's fundamentally different because it doesn't erase multiplicity. It allows for it. But it also ensures that all those different interpretations don't just spin off into chaos.
So the center is like a necessary gravity.
Necessary gravitational pull, yeah. Unity and diversity can and must coexist.
Okay, so how does this actually work? How does it handle something like different Derrida's idea that meaning is always chasing itself?
It answers that with a really powerful idea. The pendulum model.
The pendulum model.
Right, just imagine a pendulum swinging outward. That swing represents the journey into multiplicity, all the different interpretations, the ambiguities.
But it's always drawn back.
It's always drawn back inward by gravity, back to the singular core, which is monism.
So in this view, plurality isn't the end point. It's just a necessary stage in realizing oneness.
And this whole journey is captured by what's called the Pramod effect. The formula is, it's surprisingly simple. 1 minus 1 equals 0 equals 1.
It is. And we should break that down because that 0 is the most important part.
Let's do that.
So the first one is your surface meaning. What you first see in a text. The -1 is the deconstructive part. You dismantle it, you see the skepticism, the absence.
And that gets you to 0. To zero-ness.
Yes. And that 0 represents that feeling of exhaustion, the philosophical dead end that a lot of scholars feel. But, and this is the key, TDC says 0 is not the end.
It's a transition.
It's a transition. It moves that void back to the final one, which is this rebirth into unity, a superconscious realization.
So if we have this unified core again, we have to ask about the death of the author. What Barthes and Foucault talked about. Does the author come back to life? Not exactly. TDC calls it the author-reader continuum. The author's presence is marked by their absence.
Okay.
Think of it through the triadic model of the text. The words you see are the body. The organizing force is the mind, or the center. But the deepest truth, the unity, that's the soul, the superconsciousness.
And there's a practical method for this, right? The TDC-6 methodology. It's a 6-step process for scholars to move from just surface reading to finding that monistic essence.
Exactly. And the end result of that process is modification, the dissolution of binaries.
Where presence equals absence.
They're both one. It integrates them. And this is so relevant for us now in this age of just constant digital noise and information overload. TDC offers a way to ground all that chaos in some kind of coherence.
So really what we're looking at is a transdisciplinary breakthrough. This goes way beyond just literature. The theory actually proposes that the universe is one text.
It does. It suggests that consciousness is the vehicle for realizing this superconscious unity. The theory becomes a guide for understanding existence itself.
Which leaves you with a pretty provocative thought.
A very provocative thought. If all the conflicts, all the data, all the noise we see every day are just steps in that pendulum swing, what is the ultimate singular truth the universe is trying to reveal to us?